Hello and welcome back to another one of our regular episodes from FIFA 19. A new video every Friday at 4:30 PM. We're back with just 1 week to go until the release of the full game, with another video from the FIFA 19 demo. Last week we played a kick-off game just with a Champions League group stage game. If you want to check that one out and haven't already, I'll put the eye at the top of the video so you can click on that and just go and catch up with that one whenever you want. But for today we're going to be taking on the other playable part of the demo, which is the journey. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, this year there are 3 characters in there. Alex Hunter, as always, is sort of rival, come friend, come whatever else. Danny Williams, who's quite a vocal character in the first 2 seasons. And Kim Hunter, the first female character on there, which I think is a great idea as well. And it's probably the one I'll do out of the 3 once we come to the full game, if I continue with it after today's try. As you know, a lot of this is breakaway stories and subplots, so once the stories are playing I won't talk. We'll talk on the bits in between and we'll commentate on the match, but in terms of the plot we'll just see what's happening from last year. So let's get into it and see what it's all about. I'm presuming for the demo you can probably only play as Alex Hunter, and they're saving the 2 new ones as a surprise. Let's see, we've got all 3 of them here. Yeah, you can only play as the other 2 in the full game. I'd expected that, to be honest. So we'll be Alex Hunter. We can see he's at Real Madrid. If you haven't followed the story in last year's game, he fell through a move to Real Madrid at the start of last season. He was at a top Premier League club. He ended up not being able to get his move. The fans fell out with him, and remarkably he ended up on loan in the MLS, which isn't particularly realistic for a young player, particularly in that sort of situation, but oh well. This year we'll play with Alex Hunter, we'll see what the demo's about, and we'll see if we're going to continue with the journey after we've seen this episode. So we'll be back in a minute with the story. Okay, we're into the story now. I'm presuming it's going to start with a cutscene, so I'll keep quiet if that loads.
And oh. Lucky you avoided us in the draw, bro.
Oh yeah, I know. It would have been awkward, wouldn't it, getting knocked out to your old team?
Yeah.
Your dreams of Champions League glory shattered. I don't know how I could have lived with myself. I really don't.
More fit. At least you'll be going up against Terry, though. Come on, Papers will love that. Brothers on the same pitch.
Yeah, going to be pretty special. Oh, that'll be Michael.
How's he doing?
He's got the Williams international icon on his books. How do you think he's doing?
Well, tell him I said hi.
If I'm feeling like it. All right, bye, mate.
Alex, there is a FIFA Say No to Racism event happening in Madrid this month, and you've been invited. All the top stars will be there. Neymar, De Bruyne, Ronaldo, it's a must. Done. Next, you have to think about what charity you want to donate to. I'll set up an interview after training to make the announcement.
All right.
And then we seriously have to start thinking about your brand. The photo shoot is only a few weeks out, and we have to have your logo locked in before then.
Way ahead of you.
Oh.
My mum, she's a proper designer, been working at this firm, yeah? I was thinking that maybe she could come on board, do the design.
It's an interesting idea, but perhaps somebody more
She's been around the
in...
game for years, ever since she met my dad, and no one knows me better. It'd be perfect. Yeah, Mum?
Okay, bit of a interesting first scene, not really related too much to football, but obviously him and Williams are going hand in hand. It'll probably be the opposite way round for the opposite story, but I'll be quiet again as we come into the next one. Seems a bit long, but we'll come back to that in a minute, so let's just enjoy this bit first, as it's a cinema experience.
Alex, come on. Leave them. New player in the middle.
Oh, come on.
Those are the rules.
Looks like we've got a mini game to start with then. Piggy in the middle. I guess they're selling one of them. We mentioned last week about headers and volleys and things like that. I don't know if this is one of those sort of modes, and they just worked it into the journey. So we're not in the middle any of them more. We're controlling all 5 of the players, so you'll have to bear with me with this one. Normally when I'm playing the journey, I just play as Hunter, not the rest. We'll come back to our views on the story mode in a minute, but after that... Oh dear, I've got in the middle again there. After that, we'll do a bit more of a review of the story itself. We're outside the middle again now. We've just got to get to the time. 20 seconds left. Hopefully it won't be too painful to watch. Don't really see the point of doing a big drill like this in the demo mode, but I guess they're just showing off the fact that it's not just actual gameplay. They've got other parts to the story too, which is fine, I guess. I'm not going to complain about it for the sake of 30 seconds or so. But oh well, we've got Bale involved, who's the main man at Real Madrid now, obviously, and obviously they want Hunter to become it on this. It's probably quite a good club for the story to develop into, with Ronaldo going from there, so they can build him into this star man and star brand to take his place. We got an A in that one. It was easy enough, to be honest, so no problems with that. And I presume we'll be going into a match now. Well, we've got another cutscene, so I'll wait for a second. It looks like it's just us coming to the bench. I'll be quiet if there's any text to come up. But it looks like it's just getting our place on the bench, and I presume we'll be coming on in another Champions League game as they continue to sell that product now they've got it from Pez. And there we go. We're coming on in Champions League. They've got the new manager for Real Madrid. They've probably got the updated squads and everything. And hopefully we'll be able to take advantage here. We've got to get a good rating, try and get a goal and win the match. Now the one thing I don't know about this is whether we're going to be playing as just Hunter or the whole team. I presume the whole team for the demo, just to try and get you used to as much gameplay as possible, and so you don't find any flaws in their off the ball movement or anything in the early days, which again is fair enough for me. Yeah, we're playing as the whole team. I have had a quick look in the menu and I couldn't find a way to switch it, so it may be available, but I just haven't found it yet. So we're not too worried about winning, as we said with last week's game. It's just about getting a feel for the game, seeing what it's like. Obviously with this one it was more seeing the story as well. The one thing I'll always say if we do our little review of the journey now is it's always a bit frustrating for me just how long the cutscenes are and the fact you can't skip them. Now, I know they want to show off that it's a really cinematic experience, and the fact that the graphics this year, I mean, that was incredible. It was like being at the cinema, to be honest. It's really good standard. But what I would say is that for some people like myself, we work full time, and you get sort of 45 minutes to an hour to play FIFA a couple of evenings a week or once at the weekend. And what you really don't want to be doing is spending half of it watching cutscenes. So that is where it's a bit frustrating, to be brutally honest. And I wish you could just skip them, just to get past it for certain people. There'll be plenty who would watch it anyway, so it's not like they're going to lose out on their experience. As I just keep possession here, trying to get into Hunter. That's got to be a penalty, and hopefully I'll get the option to take it with him. Or will it count as an assist if someone else scores it? I'm not sure. I don't know if FIFA's clever enough with that with the penalties. I've won the penalty, so it should be an assist if we score. We've got Bale in there. I'm hoping the penalties haven't changed from last year. It doesn't look like they have. We're going to put Hunter on it if we can. We can, so we're going to get him to take it. I'm going to do my classic top corner placement and hope it works. De Gea's one of the best keepers in the world, but he's never stopping that. It's a signature celebration from Hunter. Let's see what that is. Down on his knees. Praying to the God, no problem with that. It was a fantastic penalty in the top corner, and hopefully that will boost us towards our 8.5 rating, winning the penalty and scoring it. I didn't know if it would go down as an assist, so it wasn't worth the risk to take it. We're still playing on world-class mode, which is the same as we were in last week's game, where we just did the kick-off game to get used to the game. Obviously the new shooting's changed a bit here, so I'm going for a different strategy of placement and things like that in this game. But I would say that it's still been very good. Off the ball, the movement's fantastic. We've still seen United defenders making rash challenges, which has happened plenty in the last season or so, to be fair, as they've got makeshift defenders. The ball into Hunter, can he get there? Good goalkeeping from De Gea. You wouldn't expect any less in the United shirt, to be honest. It's only for Spain he's not very good half the time. Hunter's held it up on the edge, but he's challenged this time. It has been quite good. I do prefer the Hunter story just playing as him. It makes it a bit more realistic, relying on other players. And also it lets you see how good the gameplay is generally, in terms of off the ball, whether the team works in a good shape, whether they can get the ball to you and pick out sensible choices. Something that FIFA's always struggled with in comparison to PES, which this year hopefully has improved. It did look like it had in the first demo game, and it slowed down a bit as well, but hopefully it won't be the case. As we let in a goal, it's 1-1, and unfortunately our lead's gone. As I said, hopefully it won't be the case this year that when the patch comes out for the first day of release, they just update it all and put it back to normal speed, because it is a vast improvement in the demo. But it's taken a bit of getting used to, as is proved by my performances in the last one and this one. But at least we've seen some goals this time out, which we didn't get last week. I appreciate the text is all over the place. I'm doing this video rarely after work. Normally I do them in the morning, and I am absolutely all over the place. I've tried it a couple of times in the last week or so, and I won't be trying it again in a hurry because it's gone awfully both times. So apologies for putting up with this. But hopefully you're getting enough out of the video and seeing the bits you want to see out of the game as well. So we're getting towards the edge of the box. We're going to go for a long one actually. Casemiro, I tell you what, that looked a very good save. And it looked quite animated and very realistic too. I'm going to watch the replay of this one just to see if it's as realistic as it looked. The ball striking, not quite ideal. But let's look at the goalkeepers. I tell you what, that's the best I've seen on FIFA for a while. I know the ball didn't quite go in the right direction, but it's still a very big improvement from last year where they were just all over the place, the keepers. Again, as I mentioned last week, they've changed the button for short corners, which has really annoyed me as a man who loves a short corner. But we found a way around it, and we're just starting to get used to it now. I played 1 or 2 more kick-off games since last week's episode, so I'm getting a little bit more used to it, but I can't master the two button finishing. The double tap's not working out for me. No matter how late I leave it, it's say it's too early. So we'll keep on with this one for now, and we'll just place him in the corner. And surely that's another foul there, but he's got away with it this time. And coming towards the end of the game, it looks like we're going to have to settle for a draw, because I think that goal was just a fluke. From open play, I haven't really scored a goal yet, bar one screamer with De Bruyne in a kick-off game, sorry. But other than that, we're keeping possession nicely, we're playing good football, we'll try and switch it out to Bale, the key man now, and see if we can do what we did with De Bruyne and just score a wonder goal. But he's been challenged by his own man, which is a little bit ironic. It does start to put a bit of a worry into me for the off-the-ball movement, because I wasn't controlling the other player, he just completely ran into him. And surely you can see he's coming and get out of the way a little bit. It's something that would probably happen in real life, so I'm a bit concerned that it's not happened there, as we lose the ball with Bale of our own accord this time. But that's the first real bit of concern I've had this time in the 2 videos we've done so far, as Ashley Young makes a mistake, and it is good to see that mistakes creep in. There's been a couple of times as well where players have just booted it out for throw-ins, which is something that hasn't happened on FIFA for a long time. And something that always happens in real life, particularly at the elite level with teams like United and that who play in that more defensive mould. They don't tend to play to attacking. We'll try and get Bale in there, and he shoots, but it's too early. We've got the gauge again, and it's straight at De Gea, who can make an easy save this time. We'll probably get one more chance, will we, depending on how much stoppage time there is. But we've lost out in the air, and it could be United who get it this time. They're bringing it forward with Lukaku. Varane's going to try and outmuscle him, and he does. And he's gone all the way back to the keeper, and we probably won't have time to build an attack now, to be honest, as we've given the ball away again, so we definitely won't now. And it's deflected out for a throw-in, and that'll just about be it with 15 or so seconds left. We'll wait for the ref to blow his whistle. There won't be time for a shot, and that's got to be offside anyway. So if it wasn't already, it is now. And as soon as we take that, it'll be full time. You can see all the advertisements and that round the stadium. They're really showing off these Champions League rights, and they've done it in every game of the demo. It's not a coincidence. But that is all. It's 1-1. We score a penalty with Hunter. I don't think we quite made 8.5, but other than that, it was a fairly good game, and we did fairly well. So we've got no complaints so far. He won the penalty as well, which might count as the assist if we're lucky. And we'll see what he predicts at the end of the game. I'm guessing there'll be an interview or something like that if they've got something new to show off there. We did beat 8.5. We didn't get the result, and ironically, we didn't get the assist either. Surely winning a penalty should be, but unfortunately on this occasion we didn't. So we'll just skip through and see if there's anything else. As I said, there'll probably be an interview, so we'll wait and see what happens there. And I'll keep quiet for it if it does come up. And hopefully we'll get our 3 choices to answer from as usual.
After a long wait, you finally had your first taste of Champions League football.
There we go, we have got the interview then, so we're just going to do the balanced one. It's a shame there's still only those 3 options. I thought it would have developed a bit over 2 years, but unfortunately it's not the case.
The fans
it does its job,
expect
but that's
success
okay. We'll
in the
listen to the
Champions
rest
League, and I need to do everything I can to give it to them.
Well, you didn't find any moments to relish just a little bit?
Oh, come now, I didn't say that.
Oh, he's answering one himself
just
now.
For me.
If we're not even getting asked the questions,
fair enough,
it's
Alex.
playing this game.
Thanks
I don't know
for
why they're
speaking
not
with
answering
Pleasure.
too many of them, but oh well. You saw in the background they've got all the sponsorships for the Champions League, all of the little media room and the coverage behind it. Just what you want in a 3+ game is selling credit cards in the background, but I'm sure that's what they do in the real life ones anyway. Again, we've just got our advertisements now, and I think that'll just about be it. We'll skip through in case there's anything more, but it looks like the end of the demo there. No, we're through to the end now, so that is all from this episode. If you have enjoyed it, please put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel below for regular Football Manager content, as my channel name gives away, every Monday to Thursday at 4:30 PM, as well as this regular video from FIFA 19 every Friday. With the full game coming out next week, we'll be starting our rotating videos every 2 weeks from FIFA Ultimate Team and from Career Mode, where we'll be playing with Crew Alexandra from League 2, trying to take them up to the top. A massive thanks for watching this one again, and we'll see you next time.